live. We're going live. We're going live. We're going live. I never know when this thing is live. So I sing, and then we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Hey, welcome y'all to another IMITATES Live. We're a little late tonight. We got a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good because, like I say, I'm not in broadcast television anymore. So I'm doing like a lot of YouTubers. We show what we want to. So I'm glad to have everybody here. I'm going to share it. I'm going to have you roll the opening in just a few moments, but I just want to say hi to everybody real quick. Hello.
Hey, what's happening? Hey, what it do?
All right, we're going to get hyped tonight because we got some stuff. Tonight. It's going to make your head spin a little bit for you out there. We're not weird people. We just like weird stuff. Okay,
no, I'm a weird person.
Which means weird people. Weird people like weird stuff.
Yes, weird people, weird stuff. All right, Shannon, whenever you're ready, let me go ahead and let you share some stuff over there.
Gotta give me permission.
I gotta do.
We're gonna learn to do this before we start.
I know. I can't wait till the time comes that I can do something and make her administrator at times because Tanya be over too many places.
Okay. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back.
Hey y'all, welcome back. You know, for all the YouTubers out there, we are working on our way that we can get all our videos aired very clearly and all that stuff. We're gonna work it out because as a film production company, you know, that ain't too cool with stuff don't act right and doesn't roll right. But I'm gonna say to everyone, welcome to Friday Night Live on our IMITATES Live living room. How y'all doing?
What it is.
Hello. You know how we always get it kicked off. I see you, Samantha. But you know how we always get it kicked off. I'd like to ask everybody, how was your week? What kind of things you got into this week? And then we're going to show the stuff and get our audience engaged as well. So what kind of things that y'all have going on this week? You know, for the most part, it being leading up to a holiday. So a lot of people had kind of checked out. What did y'all see out there this week?
The rents. Let it begin.
The rents. There we on it. What's happening with y'all this week? What happened this week for y'all?
Shoot, letting work go first thing and foremost. Having having a last call, being elongated, stretched out when it's time for you to get off and getting rid of that residue and getting back to getting back to true reality. You know what I'm saying?
That's what true reality.
I know that's right. Who else got something to put on this week?
I had nothing but blessings this week. I hope everybody had the same.
All right.
Blessings and blessings, top on blessings.
Say that.
Yeah.
It's in the book.
It was kind of a different week for me because it's like you ever like find yourself you wake up in the morning, and I had at least 2 or 3 times this week where I wake up in the morning like, what day is it?
Girl, every day.
Like, yeah, I was like, what day is it? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I started off the week, no lie. I woke up Monday morning and I decided that it was Tuesday. And so I was putting myself in the mode for Tuesday. And then I was like, wait a minute, this ain't Tuesday, this is Monday. Because I was like, why is this happening today? It happens on, so I really had decided something different for myself, and I had to put myself back together on where we really were. And it just felt like the whole week was that way. Yes, ma'am.
Are you like a routine type of lady?
Yes, I think I am. It's the routine, and I think it's I have a Chihuahua, and Chihuahuas are very routine also.
Yes.
So we do these routines here, and I think I just got lost in it, and so I was behind a day or ahead. I don't know which one it was. I just never knew what day it was each day of this week. So I kind of struggle, but I'm ready for the weekend and, get it all back together.
Because today is Friday.
Yes, Friday. Well, you know what? What I'm going to do is this. Kind of start off in a way which kind of gets you all revved up, looking at some stuff out there that I just consider to be just a little bit cray-cray. And the best way to enter this show is just to show you some stuff that had me scratching my head. Now, it deals with addictions and weird addictions that people have and all. So I just kind of want to see what you all think about this. And if you yourself have heard of anybody who has had these really strange addictions like this, and we'll go from there. Okay, you know what I do all the time? And here it is. Okay, we're gonna go and share, and let me get it rolling over here. I'm gonna share it first, and then they go.
My name is Olympia. I'm 17. I'm just a regular suburban chick, and I am addicted to pretending to be furniture. I think it's something I've just loved doing all my life, and it stems from.
Wait, what?
I'm done. I'm done.
No, that's all the way wrong. There's a whole wrongness.
Do it again.
I'm done.
She said she began at 11. Somebody told her to hide.
The washing up, some sort of regular.
It gets better.
And I'll remember that I just love doing furniture. And
Well, she's created.
Oh my God.
She's created with a drill sergeant.
Right. I don't know what this is.
Michael.
My name is Nova. I am Olympia's, let's say, life partner. Olympia is addicted to taking on the roles of various pieces of furniture. Well, in a very small apartment, I just don't understand how she thinks I don't know. I don't think she has no idea.
What does she have in the middle of her head?
I'm very aware of this.
Shannon, she has nothing to do with her day.
When you're standing with a lampshade on your head, that's not inconspicuous.
I can't explain it. I don't expect anyone to understand it. I just fucking love it. You know, I'm here a
Yes, for the check. Bring on the bill.
Oh man. I just want.
It's getting to the point now where it's really affecting me, and I don't know how I'm going to tell my family and my friends.
Shut up.
I've got this wonderful partner, Nova, and she has no idea that I do it.
You're not incognito. I can see that you're standing there with a lampshade on your head.
Okay.
I'm yet to bring
I
this
got
to
some
her.
things to say.
Okay, we're gonna go back in. We're gonna go back in now.
Another one? What other one is this?
T.
Yes, ma'am.
That is chemical imbalance to the finest. No, there's no way that she's doing like swats on this wall and then like
That's just way too much. Now that's compliments of Mama Carla Rose.
Yeah, she's taking it so much. She don't even know how to differentiate what's going on.
Yeah, she's in an alternate reality.
Yeah. She don't know. She don't know. Don't even talk about her. She don't even know.
Yeah, that's a total alternative reality there.
Yeah.
It has you all so stumped until I see you all just looking like WTF.
I was puzzled.
Concerned.
Look at my face.
A second.
Look at that eyebrow.
Y'all are funny.
He had to go. They said he had to go.
Y'all are
I
funny.
plead the fifth.
Yeah, well, you know what? That I just want to put that because people have weird addictions like that, and I saw some other videos, and one I was going to bring on. I didn't know how appropriate it was and how much of a joke it was, but the young man was attempted to sticking things in his behind, and he was addicted to sticking things in his behind. And I just said, nah.
Michael said,
And I just, I just decided, no, I ain't bringing that one to the table tonight.
I put my hand up. I got a question.
What's up?
Are you saying that when he has the urge to steal. Wait, no, I'm trying to figure it out.
When
I'm
he
trying
had
to figure it
just
out.
regular life.
He says, you know what? I can conceal it better if I
put it there. But no, he just said in general that he just likes doing it. He has a fascination for doing it. And started with pencils, and then it went to other stuff. And so I just said,
like the.
Yeah, and so I just decided
I want to do a disclaimer here. This has nothing to do with like homosexuality or anything like that.
It doesn't.
It's addiction.
Like when y'all say you started with pencils,
I'm thinking pencils.
Yeah, no, that's a little dangerous.
I personally just wonder.
That's like one of those shows you see what you find inside people at the hospital. That's what that is.
Real.
When y'all talk about when y'all talk about pencils, I just wonder what led to that.
Pencil lead poisoning.
Pencil lead.
I know that was funny. I'm just.
Oh man, I know.
Right, yeah. You
That's
know what?
too many
In
things.
California, when I lived in California, I think it was like in the 80s. They had to ban homosexuals from buying hamsters because they would put them up. Remember?
One of the main actors got caught putting gerbils up his booty.
Oh yeah, that was
Richard Gere.
Yes.
I wish I would have told me. I would have stopped watching Pretty Woman immediately. Now, as of now, I will not be watching Pretty Woman anymore.
But see, the only reason why he went to the hospital is because he got stuck and it died.
Officially now, I will never watch Pretty Woman again.
Well, you know, they had that whole South Park episode too that had.
They tell on people.
I'm telling you.
Look, and Rick and Morty, they tell on people.
And the Simpsons be right. Well, the Simpsons be before anybody, so you know.
Yeah,
well,
it's a lot of things. It's a lot of hidden messages and
Simpsons like to reveal a lot of stuff on the Simpsons.
Yeah,
you know. Well, Shannon, we got that second video. Are you quite ready for that second video, which takes us into another form? I guess we can call this one an addiction as well. So whenever you are ready, I guess I am ready too.
What?
Right.
It's with each other.
Go ahead, little girl.
My name is Max, and I'm 20, but not really, because I'm 5.
My name is Johnny, and I'm 31. Lorraine, stop.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you go play?
Yes, because you're off, and I have a daddy baby day.
Daddy baby day. Let's get jacket on.
Okay. And shoes. I have to wear shoes. Also, I want to take Moana.
Okay.
Moana.
DDLG, by definition, is Daddy Dom Little Girl, and it is a subsection of BDSM, which is a part of kink. I was just discovering things about the community, learning a bit more about it. I decided to try it out, and I've just loved it ever since. It's just me.
First of all, they did go to the park, and you gotta watch this little girl.
There are
in
a
the
lot of
background
people in the
because
community that do this sexually, and I am not one of those people. This is a completely non-sexual lifestyle for me.
The way Max first told me that she was part of this lifestyle, she had shown me the videos that she was watching. She showed me a sippy cup and that she was eating these baby snacks. And I think that's when we had the conversation about it.
I can step in the puddle.
I know a lot of people look down on more.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like puddles.
Please do.
So
Don't
they have a daddy baby day.
That is a pedophile.
Oh,
Oh no, you better watch the nieces and all that, the little nephews. Something's going on with him.
I'm little
But it's her kink,
a
it's
lot
not
of the
his.
time, especially when we're at home.
No, but
when
for
we're
him
just
to be
relaxing and
attracted-
I'm with him.
Yeah.
I'm little when I want to be. I'm little when it's.
Okay. So I also want to put a disclaimer on this. I ain't trying to kink shame nobody. I just think this stuff is really entertaining, and I watch it all the time. I can't help myself.
Look at Michael. Michael had his head in his hand just now. What's going on, Michael?
Man, look, to each their own, but
Okay.
Yeah, to each day on. I just, that man, look, like, hey, to each day on. But when you gotta grown, you gotta.
Hey Doc, can you hear me at Hinge with the Benadryl and Drano? Yeah,
Oh, stop it, boy.
So it's one of them things where kink, lifestyle, BDSM, all of that good stuff, man. People talking about playing them roles where they want them little kids and shit, man. Look, I guess my question would be, because I'm always, having that objective view. We grown ass folks, but we call our loved one a baby, right? And or it's like you like Big Daddy, you love Daddy, call me Daddy, say my name, hey mom, you know what I mean? And we grown folks looking at somebody else as mommy or daddy. So I mean, that's kind of like a mindset of incest in a sense, right? So are we all guilty of some sick perverted type thing unknowingly? But then when we see it out in the extreme, then we kind of start looking at people like they crazy.
So let me say something.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm quick to call daddy.
When you call somebody baby, it's what you envision when you call somebody baby. See, when you want someone to act as a baby, you're visualizing, sexually, oh my God, she's baby, I can put her in diapers and things like that. But when you're calling other people baby, and then you have a vision of, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's
Samantha said, oh yeah.
Because it determined by the tone of voice or how you use it, because you are your own worst enemy. Samantha. However you depict something, it's gonna come out in your tone of voice.
Okay. Bola, what are you saying?
Samantha, she introduced him to that.
Yeah. Say it again. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I can't hear what you're saying.
She introduced him to that lifestyle, not him introduced her to that lifestyle.
She even said it wasn't sexual, like they didn't act like that in the bedroom, but I don't understand how you can have that type of separation in a fetish.
Right.
Personally,
it's not gonna be a separation, because when she get in the bed, she's gonna be like, yeah, daddy, yeah, daddy, yeah, daddy.
I'm saying all my fetishes to one place.
No, come on now.
Come on
be
now.
real.
Different than saying.
Listen, to each his own. I don't judge people.
Saying daddy.
Yes, she said daddy.
That was funny.
My 5-year-old.
That was funny.
But
what goes on between two people is between two people.
Correct.
If
I plead the fifth.
But they went on TV with this, so let's talk about it.
Say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to stand, because on one side it's really crazy because I love the sound of her baby voice, right? Because I like babies. But when it came to, I'm just saying in general.
But it's weird because
he liked it too.
But at the same time, I was like, I know how passionate I am right this moment about what's going on behind the scenes. I can't talk about that stuff or here on YouTube right now, what's happening right behind the scenes with all the, I can't even mention that word without getting in trouble.
It's a lot going on behind the scenes that you can't talk about. We get it.
Right. And so with that, it's too close to that. It's just so close to that until it makes me like quite uncomfortable.
Right.
That on that side.
It's too close.
Yeah.
It's too, just one little thing can make that man go, or even her go to that.
Yeah.
So look here. Remember. I got my mindset is that a lot of times our adult minds and experience tend to, overly pervert things that ain't meant to be perverted. For instance, when you got kids that's playing, right, or whatever the case may be, and a little boy is playing with a little girl and they cousins or whatever, and then he go and he grab her from behind, adults will look at that and be like, oh, what is he doing? Right. Or when little babies start, bouncing and dancing because they trying to catch the beat, and they'll be like, oh, who teaching that baby how to dance like that? No, the baby just bouncing and dancing. Right. You making it seem like they twerking and working a pole or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we tend to over pervert
But
things.
Michael, you know what, Michael? I worked at a daycare. And what I found out at the age of 2 to 5, they pick up everything they see.
Oh, yeah.
He had this little boy. He could not go to bed to sleep without laying on top of a little girl. And we're like, but why? He said, well, that's how daddy sleeps with mommy. And we're like, but you will go to jail. Somebody's father will kill you. And we had to talk to his parents, his mother, especially his mother said, look, your son will not go to sleep unless he's laying on top of a little girl.
That must mean he sleeps on top of her chest.
Right.
No. He told me. He saw his daddy do it. Another little girl, yes, they used to have sex in front of them. They thought he was asleep. Because they said, I was like, no, he sees everything. Another little girl, she saw her mother sleep in the nude. So when it was time to put her down for nap, she took off all her clothes. And we're constantly putting her clothes on. We're like, you can't sleep in the nude.
Right.
Another child was smoking weed. He was pretending he could let smoke. He was smoking weed. And I said, where you let her smoke like that? He said, oh, my daddy.
It's a matter of stepping in. Bottom line, it's a matter of stepping in.
Yeah.
Correcting that shit from the jump.
And when people have like that girl, like, she pretends to be a baby. When people have things like that, it means that they missed out on something in their childhood, and they need to relive it. And that's the basis of that fetish, and like, I'll go out on a limb and share some shit. I'm quick to call somebody daddy and ask permission and stuff like that. I understand that side of it, but I can't fathom being so separated from your childhood to want to need that from a partner, and to have to put that seems like so much pressure to put on your partner.
Yeah.
Like that's from that seems like it's a selfish fetish to me personally.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if your partner's all for that, then have at it. Do what it is. But me personally, I feel like you're just missing something deep rooted in your childhood, and maybe you need to talk about that instead.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask everybody a question. I'm sorry, T. Does a fetish turn into sexuality with a partner? Because at the end of the day, it turns sexual, but they like that. It's a fetish. I like feet. I like hands. I like hair that's pulled to the back. It turns sexual. Like,
well, sexual can turn into.
It's an emotional gratification.
It can turn into red flags. It can turn into
so much.
Witnessing,
like deep red flags, not like light red flags. Deep red flags. Yes.
Your partner accept you and all your nastiness or your freakiness. I'm gonna call it nasty.
What Candy Bird said? What's your freak number?
And you know what? She's not keeping it in the bedroom, in the house. She's going out to the park where others can view what.
Yes.
So when you do that, when you do that, you open yourself up for outside judgment. Then you know what I mean.
Not only outside judgment, how do you explain to a child that behavior? You see this adult acting your child's age.
Yeah.
Then what do you tell your child?
Well, I mean, I'll go play at the park, but I'm not out there being like.
No, and they know you're an adult.
Some people might like that.
I'm not finna trip, fall down the slide or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's still a long way down, even for
me. And if you do, that's your business.
But
just know this is gonna be people looking at you with the side eye.
I mean, like you said, in the bedroom, in the house, is up to them. But once they take it out, like she took it out into the park. The park is the public place. Yeah. We have to conduct ourselves.
But that's also dangerous when you're in a place where innocence is being innocent.
Right.
But that's what she thinks she's being, is innocent.
Right. No, that's pretend.
Yeah. When I've seen grown folks when they're seeing grown folks being innocent, so to speak, and they're acting out these behaviors, it's also sending messages to these kids, like very, no matter how you slice it, try to slice it, it is very unhealthy. It is very imbalanced.
But you know what she first said was she went to a group that did that stuff. So it's something she was on the internet, and hey.
Yeah, she already had a curiosity about it.
I tell you, it's just too.
Mind.
But not only does it open up the children, it also opens up you for discrimination too, because somebody could corner your man and be like, yo, do you think this is okay? Are y'all closet, P words, and then that turns into a whole thing for you. And here you are getting your ass beat in the back of a park because, you have a fetish. So it's an all over protection thing.
Right.
Let me ask everyone this. Because notice, this is done at a children's park, right? At a playscape. Notice there are no children there, right? Peep that. Could you imagine your children or your young nieces and nephews seeing this behavior carrying on? How would you all feel?
I would be mad.
Would be confusing. Yeah, it would be very confusing to a child.
Now I have to explain.
Yeah, say that.
When I want to explain a certain behavior, it's at an appropriate age that I deem, not because it's pushed on them.
Hey, I think the way that I would raise my child, my son or my kids would be like.
Well, let's get Tashiba in here. What do you think, Tashiba?
Well, I was stuffing my face and I was looking at the video. And I didn't see anything sexual happening. I saw a woman acting like a little girl with her partner. Now, if my child, because all three of them big heads ask a lot of questions, was like, Mom, what is she doing? I might just say she's
pretending,
acting out. She's playing. She's pretending to be a child. Nothing sexual happened there. I think that because we know what it is.
Right.
Children don't know what it is. We don't have to explain anything to them other than maybe you ought to just mind your business. We don't have to judge her because that's her fetish. We all have something that we don't share it with people, or we share with our partner. We're looking at it from a sexual point of view, but nothing sexual happened there at the park. Now, if something sexual happened, that's a whole different story.
How do we know it didn't? They're not going to film it on TV.
Yeah,
it's just valuable.
It's uncomfortable, even though I thought her voice was cute. It's just so uncomfortable to me because of all the other stuff that is going, like we mentioned earlier, that is going on behind the scenes. And in a few minutes, when they start, all the child trafficking, everything. And when they start bringing that kind of stuff out, give me 1 second. And when they start bringing all that out, you're going to watch a lot of the public accuse. All the public is going to start going back in their heads. And they're going to start saying, okay, what did I see from this actor, this politician, this person here, this person there? And it's going to get really paranoid in just a few moments. And in a way, rightfully so, because there's a lot of things that have been done, but there's going to be some people who are going to be accused of things that they really are not those things because of certain behaviors that they have. So they got to be very careful. Rick, did you have a question?
Actually, I have so I noticed that, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if they use the term fetish in their explanation, but I noticed like in the group,
right,
the term fetish was mentioned heavily. And another definition, just to make sure that we are on one accord, looking up the definition of fetish itself, right? Fetish, meaning the definition, fetish definition, here it goes. An unborn offspring, I'm sorry, that's wrong thing.
You making a point in one direction, Pim.
Fetish, a form of sexual desire.
No, let him finish.
Fetish, a form of sexual desire in which gratification is linked to an abnormal degree to a particular object, item of clothing, part of the body, etc. And that etc. can go in so many.
Beyond infinity.
That's what I was about to say.
So when he's doing whatever with this 5-year-old, acting like he's doing with a 5-year-old, or whatever.
But there's emotional fetishes too.
It's something in his medulla oblongata to make him think.
So what I was about to say is it weird to us or to common folk because it's different, right? Because it's different. So watch this. So when you got a child, you know, in school, they give a measuring standard of what's average.
Right.
If a child is above the line, they're above average, and if they below, they abnormal, right? And we know what those are. You got your geniuses and you got your people that they consider, that they can't necessarily comprehend it at the regular normal level. Anybody that's not necessarily considered average is considered abnormal, whether you're a genius or whether you below the standard. So are we looking at that based off of what they're doing because the norm or what society says is the norm, you know what I mean? And then we say, oh, that's not normal because he said abnormal. So who's to say what's normal and what's not?
I got a question. I have a question. If that person likes to pretend she's a little girl or whatever, 5-year-old. Now, if she's at the park and you have your 5-year-old at the park and she wants to play with your 5-year-old, like 5-year-olds normally do, what would you say?
Me personally, that's me personally. I'm like, no, that's for me, right? Whether it is above or below the damn line, and I ain't society. That's just for me and my standard. Hell no. You know,
no adult will be playing with my 5-year-old.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
And but what's weird about this and what opens it to be weird for me is like, so there's actually a mental disorder where so I know a girl who has this and it's called a little, and she really, like regresses. She regresses and she is like a 5-year-old again, but it has become a part of like her sex life too. So when you have like this like it just makes other things look bad, you know what I mean? Because you could see like a full-grown person, like me personally, I have DID, which is dissociative identity disorder. It's also known as split personality. One of my personalities, her name is Sarah. My full name is Sarah Mary Shannon Rose. One of my personalities, her name is Sarah. She's 6 years old. If you see me playing at a park, Sarah knows I'm 31. She knows how not to act in public because she knows that I am not actually a 6-year-old child, but she herself is still 6 years old. But she's not going to come out in my sexual patterns because that's literally like a completely different like personality. Like she's not open to any type of sexual activity at all. So when you have people like this that come out and they make it such a sexual fetish, it puts a bad reflection on things, because there could be someone out there that actually has DID.
Problem.
One of their DIDs is a 6-year-old child, and she's out playing at the park as a grown-up, but this is literally one of her personalities. But now she's being looked at like, oh, this must be a fetish because these other people have sexualized something that is actually a mental disorder for this person.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
fetishized.
Right.
You want to say that, yeah, because like you said, Shannon, someone may have that disorder,
right?
And they're probably getting treated for that disorder.
Right.
Should not look down or look at them any other way because they can't help it. But then somebody else is like, oh, I like that, so let me go ahead and
okay. Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Well, we got folks checking in on the YouTube chat. What you got over there, Shannon?
Tiana says, well, it was a lot of, hey, how are y'all? Checking in. And then Tiana says, I feel like it's like religion. There's a time and a place for it.
Okay.
That right
there. You have that link to share. Can you share that link in the chat, Shannon? Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's kind of like when y'all asked the question about Chris Brown with the darkies. No, really. Like darkies can't come into my party. I want light skin, right? Because if you think that
because
I'm sitting here thinking, I don't judge. I am the person that loves universe, that goes mathematically, stuff like that. But then when it comes to someone acting like a certain age, it confuses everybody.
It goes against the norm. It goes against the norm of what you've been taught over the years, what you've been programmed to believe over the years. So,
but in your heart, you know that you're not 5.
You know
so
what?
Why the hell would you
well, if it's a condition, then they don't. And the reason I say that is because
it depends on what they believe and what they don't. So you are correct.
You know what? I'm sorry. I had to take a sidebar because Rick just threw me off. Rick just threw me way off the page because he mentioned it earlier today. And when you brought up Chris Brown and he said that he stopped liking darkies, that the reality be his ass. And so that I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm like,
some to that.
You know?
But I
live with that.
Do not let society raise your children because there's like.
But I also think that was his Hitler. So.
Well.
A whole new show right there.
Well.
I think yes. I think it was that was that sucker's Hitler. Yes, and so all of a sudden you notice that whenever they don't obey those handlers and stuff happens. And we're gonna mention another name. I better not mention on the air, but I certainly sure gonna put it in the chat.
Careful,
what I'm talking about.
Say that.
But I'm gonna move on to the next one because we got on this one for a little bit, but this next one is going to lead, this next clip that we're going to go to is going to lead us into our main discussion for tonight. And this is another video compliments of Miss Shannon, because Miss Shannon,
she's not into temptation.
The devil in this woman.
For thine is the kingdom.
Because I tell you, Miss Shannon can find some stuff.
I see.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So
Miss Shannon. I got a question for who finding this shit, Miss Shannon or Element Rose?
Shannon said she's gonna go get the weird shit.
This isn't even the weird shit yet. Wait till y'all see the extra weird shit.
Let me see.
Danny. She fell in love with
Jack. I seen this.
Fell for each other straight away.
My girlfriend loves acting like a dog.
And I thought it was cute.
But that turned out to be a lot.
Oh, you should have shown the other one. She went to the dog park and everything.
Play around.
I'm never gonna do that shit.
Okay, so he cannot adopt no dogs in
other opinions.
And see, automatically when you see a woman acting like that, you already thinking doggy style. You know what I mean? So it's like
or bitches, or that's what I like.
But they be lying if they said they didn't have OnlyFans.
Convince the world.
So you need to watch him after 8.
Perfect for them.
See, look.
No.
So you're trying to tell me that don't turn sexual? So when he
No.
Well, you know what? I decided to show this one. I decided to show this one, Shannon, because the other one, when I looked at the full video where the guy hosted it on his show, he seemed to feel like those other people were putting on skits. And so that's why I decided to go with this one, because I think these people were more genuine, Okay,
I got you.
And so I just say this: people have different love addictions and things that turn them on. And
I love dogs, but that's not it.
I ain't trying to be one.
That's not it.
So if you had a man in your house and he wanted to act like a dog, walking like a dog, walking like a dog.
Hold on, pause.
He got to go.
I got a leash and everything, but I ain't about to bark
I ain't about that life.
Hold up. You said you got a leash and everything.
Yeah, you want me to go get it?
Yes.
Jump on.
I gotta watch you now.
All right, all I'm gonna say is don't nobody else go get none of your kinky shit out the red room, okay? Just be.
I ain't got no red room. I ain't got no dungeon. I ain't got nothing. But when he talking about some, got it.
I want to see the leash. I don't know about y'all, but
we'll wait patiently.
Yes.
Look, there's nothing wrong with a little dominant.
No, it's okay. I don't judge nobody.
Okay.
I'm not.
He misunderstood. I don't.
Okay.
Oh, that's soft. That looks like that's soft.
That's nice. It's a nice little leash. Okay.
When you say Tashiba,
when you shop at Shannon and shit,
you know what I'm saying?
You don't shop at Sarah's Secret, do you?
We pretty good.
They don't sell that shit at Spencer's, do they?
No, I got this from Condom Sense.
Okay, condom scent. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of them at the lingerie.
Hold on.
That's cute.
I will say this. We acting like or not talking about as if we ain't got no dungeon.
I'm just saying. Whole swings and everything, baby. Just
look here.
I'm not done. Don't act like as if you ain't got no dungeon yet. The dungeon is right here. That's where the dungeon starts.
Okay, now I say that.
You said welcome to the dungeon. You've already been
Say
here.
that. We not candy, but say that.
Let me be clear. Not dungeon, but pleasedom.
No, it's a dungeon.
It's pleasedom. No,
Oh, it's a dungeon, Shannon?
No, it can be dungeon for those that can't handle it or they're not ready, but those I didn't know or
I can't even mess with it.
This has been this has been one of these eye-opening type nights for people. We just
I gotta get out of here.
See, now, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a bunch of y'all in here with y'all looked at that video and y'all made yourself respond because y'all know damn well y'all got some shit in here that y'all don't want the public to know. You know what I'm saying?
Why you put your eye in the thing, like
y'all know damn well that y'all got some things that ain't meant for the public. You know what I'm saying?
There are things that are not meant for the public. Okay.
Exactly.
I'll be damned if I be walking around like a dog. However, there is nothing wrong with a little dominatrix. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. She got her leash. There's nothing wrong with all of that, what you do in the bedroom. But I'm not going to act like a dog.
So what about I say that because even though them two were like out in public with theirs. So y'all remember like when you have like the pimp players balls or the videos where the men would have the women on the leashes, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody be like, that's degrading. That's not this and that's not that. But you have to understand those women chose to allow that to happen to them. So who's right and who's wrong?
True.
I just said that I wouldn't do it.
No, yeah.
Whatever you want to do in life, that's up to you.
Right.
I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah.
I have to stay in alignment with me. Correct. When I start looking at other people and thinking, what in the entire hell is going on? Then it's something about that situation that's in me that I don't like that bothers. Yeah. And so we have to be careful about what we're looking at, what we're judging, what we're saying. That's why I said I wouldn't do it. But if you want to walk around acting like a little bitch, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's you.
Literally.
Right.
That's my piece on it.
Okay, I got you there. You know what? I've been tuned out because watching Rick is really funny over there. I just asked Rick a question because watching him is very funny. He's been very animated, so I got sidetracked for a moment.
Hold on, because
And I gotta live with that. I live with that every day.
It's like having conversations like on some. Okay, so let's say your sibling walks in. Your spouse, right? And in public, right? Doing y'all fetish shit. And he or she gets upset, like, why in the fuck? I'm finna beat somebody's ass, but
Shannon, you crazy.
I'm sorry. The child popped up at the wrong time and she was like, go.
Okay, so what was your question, Rick? I'm trying to understand your question.
So let's say like your sibling walks in on you and your spouse, all fetish things in the public, right?
Right.
Your sibling gets all he like, what the like? Here, we finna fight, da 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 da. But I'm like, first and foremost, you walking into a whole nother, you know what I'm saying, thing.
World.
Not to say that that's us, but still, it's like if somebody's like, if somebody's like willing to do that out in the public, I'll say this.
I won't respond to that.
Siri, I didn't ask you.
Tanya, you got something else on
So you got your little side piece on there, which you got Siri on the line. Right?
Because I don't know what was happening. I was like,
beat, Rick. Don't get your ass beat, Rick. Don't get beat.
Because Siri just went off.
Man,
respond to that.
I don't understand a damn thing you're saying, baby.
Yes.
It's just not compute.
Look, even Siri say she ain't with all that kinky stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Siri said, I don't walk on a leash either.
She played you out.
Siri said this. Siri said, sorry, I don't have an answer for that. Like, goddamn.
She just came right into their conversation. That's crazy. She came in the conversation. But you know what, y'all? I'm going to detour us on into the conversation for tonight. I figured that we looked at all the different forms of kink that people have, not all, but a few of the different forms of kink that people have. And, you know, we saw some things that I know made y'all scratch your heads and everything tonight.
Yeah, but I'm trying to sit here. I'm going to sit here and practice being.
Like,
He said, I'm trying to get sat on.
You know what I'm saying?
Not sat out.
I'm finna be a couch. Hey, look here. I'm like about.
You gotta sit upside down if you're trying to be a couch then.
Well, you know what? I am gonna do this. Tonight's topic is, are you and your mate equally yoked? And this topic came about through Michael Lee. And I really, he talked about it and we got into a little bit more discussion about it. And I really want him to just come in the door and give us a little bit more idea of what was in his mind when he said, let's break that down here in the living room. What you got, Michael?
Break down. You're breaking me on down. A little Bone Thugs and Harmony for y'all. But anyway, so when you look at, remember we had that acronym Miss Pies, right? Mentally, spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally, sexually. Then she'll get the best of me, kind of thing, right? So you have Miss Pies, right? So when you have found your Miss Pies, then you should not need anything else, right? You shouldn't. If y'all are, together or yoked on that level, but there are, as we know, that nobody's perfect and nothing is ever 100% or absolute. So there are some forms where you might not necessarily have everything. And based off of the topic, what happens if that one thing that's missing is on the sexual piece of it, right? So what if y'all are, when we were talking about kinks, kinks and freaks and things like that, what if one of you have more experience than the other, or what if one of you are more freaky or more kinky than the other, and then y'all are trying to mesh? One gets everything they want because the other is so far advanced in their sexuality and then the other does not necessarily get what they want because of one may not be as experienced. So we'll just put that out there on the table and let everybody kind of go for it.
Hold on. Did you read my memoirs?
What?
Did you read my memoirs? You took part of my diary? It sounds like you read my diary.
No.
Okay, we're going to share the memoirs. Okay, Bola.
How do you know that other person is getting what they truly want, or they just pretending to be satisfied in order?
You know what, Bola? That's a good point, because you don't know. You only go off of what they're telling you. So if they're telling you, right? And I mean, like, and let's be honest. If y'all in the bed and then whatever, and we know that some people fake it, but when y'all in the bed and y'all doing whatever, and they're telling you, oh gosh, and woo, hallelujah, and everything else, and then they're telling you like, oh man, that was it. Now you would think that because that's your mate, they're telling you the truth. So. But to give you your props, you do not definitely or absolutely know whether that is true or false. So you do have a valid point.
Like me, now I'm telling myself, like it's easy, like making noise, saying words like that, turn men on. So it's easy to make them come. So sometimes women do that. Just to get the man off of her.
Well, I'm a firm believer in, right? If it's whack, get the hook back straight up, and that goes on.
I'm gonna let you know. If I ain't feeling it, you ain't getting no type of fake noise out of me. I'm gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
But you I've been there, but you won't know until you get to that point. But wait a minute. This man ain't really satisfying me, or this woman's not satisfying me.
Right.
You never know until you get to that point. But when you first start with somebody, you try to be gentle. You try to be with your feelings. This is just a sex thing. Now, if it's just a sex thing, it's totally different. Now, when you're showing love for somebody, you come at it at a different angle.
But keep in mind,
Rick says, why fake?
Right. So Rick's
right. So when how many women fake it?
Right. So when it's I said some men fake it too. So when you look at what Rick's thing was when he said why fake, if you truly love somebody, remember we said miss pies mentally, spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally, sexually. So if you really love somebody, right?
I'll learn.
Right, you'll learn. Right, you're gonna learn today, but you might not like those things where you may have what they call it the 80-20 rule, right? That's 80% of something that's 80% of something, right? That's 80% of having something, and then 20% of not having something. So do you give up your best thing because they are everything that you want and need, right? And then because we seen the movies like Turn Them Loose. Go ahead.
No, turn loose. Let me ask you a question. You said 80-20. That's like a diet.
I mean,
why?
Where you get that 20? Where you get that 80-20 for real? Be for real.
Wait a minute.
Because you can say 90-10, but I mean, like, come on, like.
Hey, y'all, hold up before we go any further. Shannon, go and hit that chat real quick. What's happening out there?
It's just Tiana, you know, but she's like, she said, this is what killed me. This is what killed me. I had to stop. She said, I have gotten up mid-session and walked the fuck out.
Hey, straight damage his ego. She said, the hell with his ego and how he feel. I'm gone.
I said, amen, girl.
Oh my God. But you know something? I'm just gonna ask you all, does it matter for you when it comes to judging if you or your mate are sexually yoked or yoked at all? If you have different experiences, can that ruin the relationship?
Yes, it gets tired. I will tell you from personal experience. Listen, I pulled out this leash. Do you know how many times I pulled out this leash and the man goes, and I'm like, really?
Well, hold on. perhaps you need to put a leash on that.
Hello, Frankie.
What is my favorite thing? What is my favorite thing? What's one of my favorite things? Not everything is for
everyone.
Then it looks like I'm not for them because this is for me.
Well, you can bring
pulling leashes out and shit.
I'm saying that's for me.
Yeah.
That is for me.
Just for me.
That is not for you. That is for me. You just better like it along the way.
So Shannon, you like control? You like control? So put this soft ass leash on. Let me.
I'm saying.
Okay, so with that,
you need a different app. When you log into an app, you need to find people that like the soft leashes and shit.
So watch this. So watch this. Hold on.
Let's see what Mike got to say. What you got to say, Mike?
Watch this. Now we're talking about a leash. Now, how many of you, I can just tell you now, and people always talk about handcuffs, but how many of you really would let somebody handcuff you?
Boy, I got handcuffs and ankle cuffs right in the other room right now.
That all depends on the person. Yes. That goes along with the trust level of who it is.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. Trust. That's what I was getting at. Trust.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because if it's somebody who I don't know and I don't trust, you
better
not come with anything.
If I trust you,
you know what?
No.
And let me say something. Like what Michael's talking about. If you and Rick, if you introduce somebody,
you can't say Michael and Rick in the same sentence.
Not at all.
Mike, period. Rick,
but if you introduce somebody to something too soon, okay?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
You alter their mind on how they will treat you.
Yeah,
you
that's right. That's true.
Set yourself up to being used or misused. Because they have a perception from watching media on what people like that want.
Right. Exactly.
And then what happens with people who tend to be overly sexual, then they complain about they're not getting love. You have to balance it out.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because that goes both.
No, I'm gonna let you know it takes a year or so to get to this. It's not like third date, and I'm like, leash it up, daddy, let's go.
I don't know what
did Rick say just now too? But Rick, I couldn't hear you.
That goes both ways. Just because you use doesn't mean you have the knowledge or strength to use it. You just brought the two out. You got to be careful with that.
Well, Shannon, has anybody ever brought something out that scared you?
The only thing that scares me is anal. I don't play that.
Well, let's just get it all out there then. You know what I mean?
I'm letting you know straight up. I don't play that.
We're literally not holding shit back tonight, right?
And the report at 12, it's raining dicks.
Hey, that's breaking news.
Hey!
Hey, you know.
Hey!
Anyone else?
Hey!
No, for real, but that's about it.
On that note, y'all scared Samantha away. Now she'll be back in a minute. But I'm serious. Is there a toy or anything that you would be like, abso-freaking-lutely not? I mean,
like I'm saying, anything that has anything to do with going anywhere near my anus, I am not here for that. I always wanted to try
or nothing like that.
Do what?
You don't like butt plugs, nothing like that.
No, I got taken advantage of in that area. So I don't really play that game. But like I've always wanted to try like the toys and stuff like that. I do not like getting my wrist grabbed, but I'll do handcuffs. I'll do handcuffs easy. Like it takes a lot of trust for me to like be okay with that.
If you introduce that lifestyle to somebody, right? Mm-hmm. How do you know that person is going to stop when you want them to stop and not go as far as they want?
If you don't know them,
because I will beat their ass. That's why.
Shannon, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that.
Sometimes you can't beat
I'm
it.
a survivor multiple times over. I realize how it works. I'm more than aware of how it works, but I'm letting you know the sexual partners that I have now, I would not like, they wouldn't cross no lines like that with me, period.
Yeah, I'm not just
but
talking
I've known
about
them
you.
for years too, though.
I'm not just talking about you, but when you introduce people to stuff like that, you don't know their limit. You don't know if that was a fetish of theirs. So
That's where communication comes. That's where communication comes in.
And
you have to have a clear line of communication when you are, period, in any type of relationship with any type of situation that you're in. Communication is key. Like my husband over there having that side conversation while I'm talking. Communication. You have to be able to communicate with your partner what your needs are, what your wants are, what your desires are, especially sexually. And so if you don't have an understanding, if you don't feel safe, if they're not receptive, then we're not introducing that.
Right.
Period.
What about
and there are warning signs before you even get there to the bedroom. So they're probably not even making it to that point.
I want to ask about people started doing this whole thing. It was out there. Of course it was out there, but we came across a time where people felt a need to choke their partner.
That's not something that I've tried. That's not.
I tried that.
Oh,
it's fun.
Now you're talking about
asphyxia, what they call it, asphyxia. Just with
you hold here, you don't hold here.
Right? Yeah. You can't cut off the jugular. You can't. You do.
We gotta still breathe.
Yeah, it's about cutting off the blood, more of the blood flow than cutting off
just grip it, grab it, hold it for about 10 seconds, and let it go.
It's psychological.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I got a question.
You like obviously everybody on this panel like to be choked, so I don't know what you're looking for, but
I'm not a fan.
I said I haven't tried that yet.
I ain't a fan of that either.
Just sprinkling some ideas for you, Rick. That's what the podcast was about.
Hey, look, y'all tell you. Somebody said
we're good.
One of these chats said that the sub has more power than the dom. So
it's true.
Right. So we talking to Rick. Somebody else may have all the power.
Oh, wait a minute. Tiana said, I got you next time I'm in town. Who
no, she's talking out the side of her mouth to me.
Okay.
Don't let all her comments. Don't read those all out loud.
Fix your face, Rick. Come on now, smile.
Miss Tiana got a lot going on over there. Right. I got a question for you. Now, this takes the subject. Rick, what were you saying, Rick?
I said, no, we are good and we are still learning. As long as you are breathing and alive, I don't give a damn how old you are. Because if you go to these nursing homes, smell something in the air, I feel like, well, damn, they're doing more than a lot of us that we're complaining about. Like, what the fuck?
Hey,
like, what?
I didn't mean no disrespect, Miss Tashiba. I didn't mean no disrespect at all.
No.
I apologize.
I know you did. I know you didn't, and you don't have to call me Miss Tashiba.
No.
Okay, I got a question for you all, and we're gonna pretty much still stay in the same area of who is sexually yoked, but I do have you know what, I put equally yoked. I meant to put sexually yoked. I'm gonna change that on YouTube. Yeah, and that, because I sure changed the whole game by putting that. But my question to you all is this. I had this conversation with a friend of mine earlier, and in that conversation, he was just saying too that it depends on the situation, depends on the person, how all this goes. But we're just going into all that. But he was talking about how men looking at sexual partners quite differently from women, and he was saying that why is it that men feel like it's okay for them to have various sexual partners, but when it comes to a woman, they get really offended if their woman that they're dealing with is doing the same. And he himself admitted that he will not deal with a woman if he knows that she has other people there. So what do you think about that?
Selfish.
Selfish.
Okay.
Selfish.
Who's lost?
Selfish.
I knew it, Michael. I already knew. Michael, I already knew.
Hey, look, they say 50-50, but I say 100-100 because if you're giving 50, you're only giving half. You're supposed to be giving 100 all the time. So however it goes, I'm just one of them people, just a little bit different. I ain't gonna put all my business out there, but I'm a little bit different. So if, for example, if a man can fix his mouth to ask his spouse or his old lady or his mate or whatever for a threesome, and she grants it because she's proven her love to him, that's typically the explanation as to why somebody agreed to something like that. Or they could just be freaks. And then that woman turns around and says, well, I want a threesome, but in reverse order.
Amen.
Most men gonna be like, hell no, you know, another man running up in my woman, they gonna say, hell no. Right?
Just Eiffel Tower.
Hey, if you
wait.
But no, I'm just saying.
That doesn't
but,
mean that I want that. I'm just saying.
Right.
That was the
So,
case.
so if and you got to understand what a person is giving up to bring somebody else to their bedroom when they trying to be with you and you only. So if they willing to do whatever to satisfy you, you should be willing to do whatever to satisfy them, right? But not everybody agrees to that, and everybody be like, man, this dude crazy, this whatever the case may be, or this, you know, the way you're thinking or your logic is. If somebody do something for you, and we talking about everybody say, oh, well, they not reciprocating. Well, you should be reciprocating to that individual as well.
But
That's
then,
just my thought process.
But then how does a woman think when you reverse it just to see what he gonna say? And he's like, yeah, you can. You're like, he don't love me. Oh my God, it's just not
Well, then
right.
that's on her, because if she's doing it with ill intent, then you know what I mean? Because if he go back and at least for that moment, she knows, well, hey, he willing to do the same thing for me that I did for him. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll tell you what, if it do happen and she do it for you and you don't do it for her, that relationship is over.
And I have a question along that. Let's take a little further. My friend says this. I've seen different people say this also, and it depends on their upbringing of what they've seen growing up. They seem to feel that there are no men who are just dedicated to monogamous, just dedicated to one, that they always have, because they watch their family members do it and everything. So what do you all feel about that? Do you feel like there are no people, or is it very limited as to how many people are monogamous?
Listen, if I'm with one person, that's just one person. Like
Right.
If I'm actually with you, that's it. That's the end of it. I don't really have any interest in anybody else or whatever. But while I'm single, while I am single, there's a whole menu. And baby, I'm not afraid to try.
Oh, you're at the menu, okay.
So ask the question. Ask the question is because she said when she's with one person, she's straight with that one person. But what if you're getting 75% of what you need and or looking for, and you're missing 25%? Do you seek 25% elsewhere, or do you just deal with what you got?
No, I just deal with what I got.
Well, it's some
man I've been with over the past 10 years. I have never cheated on a man in the past at least 10 years. Last time I cheated on somebody, I was 19 years old.
Well, it depends on how selfish people are, because really it is that, what is the syndrome? You know, dog with the bone syndrome, looking in the water, has a bone in the mouth, looking in the water, sees another bone, he drops it to get the other bone, you know? So it's kind of like some people just kind of act that way. Yeah, some people just act that way in general. Just in general, do you all feel in society that is some of the issue that we deal with, not just people being monogamous, but just that there is a double standard, and that's where it goes with the relationship, and then it goes into the whole sexual relationship, and this is a trend that can continue throughout the whole thing and messes it up.
Yeah,
I think definitely it is double standard. It's always been double standard because we live in a patriarchal society. I think that when you have a person that's always seeking something different than what they have at home, or if they're missing something at home. Well, what are you missing within yourself? A lot of it has to do with self.
Right.
A lot of it has to do with, you know, what's going on in your mind. You know, I don't know if there's a perfect person out there, but if you have a woman or a man that is good to you, that takes care of you, maybe the sex ain't
100.
awesome, but you have a decent sex life, right?
Yeah.
But if there's something missing, is it missing with the other person, or is it missing with you? And a lot of times we blame the other person, but it's just really you.
Right. That's a desire of that's your desire to have something else, may not necessarily be theirs. And then so when we start talking about whether somebody's equally yoked, I mean, two different people come from two different walks of life. Everybody experience different things. So they might not, you know, that's just like what hell you and your partner or your best friend, your BFF, or whatever you want to label them. Like we've seen those examples of where Rick is my best friend. At least to me, he's my best friend, right? And then, but Rick's best friend is somebody else. So if I tell him something, then he go tell his best friend something, and then that best friend got another best friend, and damn, you know, everything, all is lost.
Yeah, Mike, because he's my best friend.
He's my best friend. That's my best friend. Go ahead.
So when you're dealing with a partner,
right?
You're dealing with them. You see the loopholes, the empty holes that you can fulfill. You see what I'm saying? So if you can't fulfill it, you can't fulfill it. But if you can fulfill it, and then he goes beyond you, it has something to do with him or her, or you know.
Right.
So yeah, so it's all about fulfilling a partner's desire to do whatever.
Right.
If you see any type of things that he need work on, or you need work on, because you got to see it first, because humans, they're visual. They have to see it first.
Wouldn't you agree that half of the stuff that we've been looking at tonight has been with people who wanted to do and try different things because their asses was bored? Don't you think that there's a lot of it where let me bring this different
This is a sexual pandemic.
What you say, Bola?
To me, those people, it's not because of their bored. There's something in their mind that has
something that's missing
that they need to take care of. When you know,
is it in their mind, or because you? Excuse me, I'm always
sex
looking
thoughts, sex thoughts in the mind.
But I'm always looking at, like, when you see something and people like, oh man, that's not right, that's not whatever. You always have to look at the starting point, right? You know what I'm saying? You have to like get to the root of the problem or the cause. So a lot of people have dealt with, I know at least for me, traumatic experiences in their childhood, which affects them in what they are into or what they do as an adult, right?
They need to take action on the things that have taken place in their childhood.
How do you take action on a grown ass? How do you take action on a grown ass? How do you take action on a grown ass woman that takes advantage of an 11-year-old kid?
Okay, I'm not talking about taking action on the person who did something. You can take your own action by saying, okay, I was not in control, and letting that go. That was a part of life. You may not have liked it, but you will learn from it. You can always use something as a learning experience to move forward, because life is always about moving forward. It's never about getting stuck. A lot of people are stuck in their past and they cannot move forward, so they act out in different ways.
Because they have not been taught how to move forward. See, I think one of the conversations we were talking about, like, people will say communication is key to a relationship, but nobody ever really teaches them how to communicate within a relationship.
Well, so and that's it. Like you said, there's a falsehood, especially in the churches. Get married, get married, get married, get married. People rush and get married to have somebody else fulfill something in them. That was never intent of marriage. A marriage is not for you to find somebody to fulfill something in you. A marriage is about being to a partnership. It's almost like a business where you grow.
An investment. An investment.
Yeah, an investment where you grow.
A business.
Right, but doesn't that lead to where we are now in the whole discussion? Because there's something that did happen in the childhood, or that they were brought into sex in the wrong way. So therefore, leading all the way up through the years, that causes them to be either overly sexed or underly. You know?
And you have to deal with their mindset of that age. Why did you feel like I had a friend for the longest? She would always come to me about making decisions for her. She's almost 10 years older than me, and I couldn't understand why. And then one thing God had shown me to do is to take him through this process. So I took her through this process, and she was talking about it was dark, and I'm like, dark? Why? Because about God talking to them. I said, but it's dark. And I said, where's dark? And God told me, slow your roll, Bola. But what she ended up telling me was at 6, her father used to have sex with her, come in the room. And so she is always, when it comes to authority, she thinks of herself as that 6-year-old.
Right.
And I had to tell her, I said, you have to stop thinking of yourself as that 6-year-old. You are now a grown adult. I couldn't help her because I was her friend. And it was too emotional for me. And I said, you have to go to a therapist or your pastor and talk about how you felt. Because in her mind, she thought she was doing her dad a favor. I said, no, that is not the way it's supposed.
Okay. With that in mind, Bola froze. Okay. Bola, you're freezing. I don't know if you can hear us, but you're freezing.
What happened?
Well, you're freezing. You're frozen. Is everybody else okay? Everybody?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay. Let me say this. With that in mind, I guess until Bola gets back, I want to take the discussion from that problem side. Would you say, and I have to say this to you, Mike, for when we had some discussion about this, that those things that happen in those incidents, and I'm lighting it back up in a way, but it's also serious. That's what caused people to have these high freak numbers because of some things that have happened. I see you, Bola. You back. But
yeah,
is that,
I mean, yeah, because in one instance, being a 11-year-old who just got exposed to adult sexuality, going through puberty, I wanted to tell the world about my experiences, but I couldn't. Because me telling my story would cause, the person I was being in our mindset, right, being taken advantage of by or getting hooked up by, right, cause them some problems as far as jail time or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and as a young male going through puberty, you get your first little piece of tail or whatever, you want to go tell the world, but necessarily you can't because somebody gonna go to jail behind it.
Right.
So, but I can tell you this, it's just me. For me, I wish it hadn't never happened because it when you hear the term, this'll change your life. You know what I mean? For me, it did because like at that point, like, being focused on school, right? I like to consider myself an undercover nerd. My whole path changed after that because I was hook, line, and sinker. Like what they say, my nose was wide open. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So now I'm on a path of every decision I made after that was about tail.
Wow.
I'm talking about like school choices, neighborhood, everything else was behind, women, right? And so that became my lifestyle as a single man. You know what I mean? So and fast forward however many years later, based off of that and all the experiences that I've had, I have grown into the person I am when it comes to sexual gratification. You know what I'm saying? And in some instances, it has ruined relationships, and in some instances, it has aided relationships. You know what I mean? But when you think about it, and now that I'm like 40 and I go back and I think about that, I sit back and say, man, I wish that had not happened, because the same thing happened to my child. My child damn near went through exactly the same thing that I went through when he was exposed to things at an early age that when I found out, I was pissed. You know, as a father, I was pissed because I knew what it did to me, and I didn't want it to happen to my child. And my child pretty much went through the same thing where his nose was wide open, and you can't stop that once it happened. The only thing you can do is try to, you know.
Do you consider it like a generational curse?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And I don't have all the answers, which is why at 40 years old, I just now start seeking therapy or whatever you want to call it, or whatever, for all of the things that I've been through in my life. You know, that's a trust factor, right? As far as me personally, but I just now started going through this thing. So it's a lot of things that I really don't even have an answer to. You know what I mean? I can go off of
understand.
Right.
I think that we all have little things that happen that, you know, that we didn't understand. And I have my own little skeletons of things that happen.
And it all, how we get beyond that is talking it out.
Right.
You keep it bottled up, your emotions get the best of you, and you act not how you want to act, how you know how to act.
Right.
I remember I was dating this guy, his mother got him a prostitute at 15.
Wow. I hate hearing those stories. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard stories like that.
But, you know, and so every time he had sex, it was acting as a prostitute. And so I had to sit him down and say, look, you will never get that high, because that's what it was. It was a high. I said, you cannot have sex like that. If you want to have sex like that, go get on a porn show. But I said, as long as you want to be with a woman, you can't. But I mean, that's what porn show is all about.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, but if you want the love of a woman, you have to begin to change your mindset. Yes, that happened to you at that age.
Okay,
because
let's dig.
You know, if you sit here, well, how many people on here, 7? Probably 5 people have had some kind of sexual abuse as a child. And then, especially in our community, we don't talk about it.
Right, exactly.
And that is, and like Mike, you was asking Mike about generational curse. Yes, if you never talk about it, it happens. Right. A lot of the guys I've dated, I found out something had happened to them.
Yeah,
something that happened, you know, to me as a child.
Same.
But it's all about talking it out and letting it go.
But as a guy, right, as a male, like
You're
we
taught
talked
to
about
see it as a trophy.
Right. Man box. Remember we talked about that in one of the past episodes, right? Because we live in a man box. So you're not taught how to handle emotion. You're not taught how to process emotions, right? We talked about that. You know, men are taught that crying and emotions are weak. So when it comes time to do that, which probably what ruins a lot of relationships, whereas, you know, women are trying to, you know, tap into something and we're taught to be hardened. And when we begin to feel vulnerable, we push back and we're pushing away probably something that's meant for us and good for us, you know, in our world and in our realm. So I think that causes problems. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Samantha.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
When you say we're living in a man box, what does that mean?
So okay. So for men, right?
From
men.
a men perspective. Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Like,
because when you was like, living
No,
in
not the world.
Hold on.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
So she finna check me.
The world is
right.
shaped with women.
She was getting ready for you.
She finna like no, don't.
Wait. Has a whole song. Hold on.
Right. Oh, hey, look. Keep your crew. Don't come at me. I'm speaking on.
Look, I'm covering my ears. I'm trying to wait for you to talk.
Right now. So what I'm saying is most men, most boys, and then watch this. Most men and most boys are taught certain things. Hey, men don't cry, men don't, show emotion,
Correct.
men don't do whatever, right? So at that point, from birth or whenever when we start to comprehend from kids, and women do it to their sons as well, right?
No,
I
agree.
Right? Hey, get up, you a man, you don't cry, you don't do that. Get up, get back on that bicycle. What you crying for? Go ahead.
Can I say this?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then I want you to proceed.
Yeah.
With my 7-year-old child, and he wants to cry about some more emotional things, that might get to him. He's sensitive in certain things. Right. I will allow him to cry, but I'm not gonna say, "Hey, don't cry," because men don't. I'm not gonna do that.
Right, but when did you stop doing that? Is what I'm saying, because I imagine you probably around the same age as me or a little bit younger.
Yeah, she's around the same age as you. Yeah.
Who me?
Yeah.
Right. I'm an 80s baby. I was born in 1980, so I'm young.
I'm born 1979 and things.
Oh, well, you old school then, so you already know.
That's right. That's why I'm saying I don't like if he has to cry and it's about certain things that I think that it might be cryable. Cry, but you ain't gonna cry for like fucking like. No.
I'm right there with you. Right?
Okay. So go ahead.
No, but I'm right there with you. But how long? And this is the new me, knowing what the problem is now as I got educated. Right? Yeah. We've been programmed for so long to think or not think certain things.
I agree.
Right. So now, and people are like, oh, he's just soft. Well, we were taught so long to be hardened that now when you start talking about emotions, and most men, when they're out, when things are not happening within their man box, they feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
And they feel weak. And so then they toughen up or tighten up and they reject what was being given to them that might actually be a cure or might actually help them. I'm gonna say that, help them to get better, right? So I'll stop so somebody else can talk.
I'm gonna help the people who are out there doing something. Now we do every time on these shows. We like to come to a lot of solutions and conclusions. And everything.
Yeah. Go.
And so my mind goes to, I was thinking about the conversation that we did have the other night. Michael and me and Rick was talking about the subject matter, and we was talking about, you got real deep into what happens behind the scenes in some situations. I won't bring them up unless you feel comfortable bringing them up. But these situations, these people's freak, they got some really high freak numbers. With that in mind, with people like we're asking if people are sexually yoked. If you are with someone who is doing all this swinging out there and doing all these things out there, and you're not an individual, you didn't have things happen in your past, you didn't have things that happen to put you on that road or anything, how do you deal with someone who is totally your polar opposite in the bedroom?
You have to ask yourself, why am I with this person?
Yes.
Say again.
Okay.
Say it again. Ask them why I'm with this person. Why am I here
with this person in every aspect of your life? Relationships are not for people to satisfy, to fill a void in you. So if you're getting
say that again, Bola, out loud. Hold on. To go back, say that again. Keep your same. Keep your frame of thought.
Lean into the microphone.
Go back and say that again, because you know what? That meant something to me. That meant something to me. So I need to hear it again. Relationships are not what?
Are not meant for someone to fill a void in you. You have to fill your own void. When you know who you are, your identity, you're not hooking up, yoking up with somebody to fill something you don't have.
Right.
Okay.
So you should already have it. You should already have it, right?
So
yeah. Okay.
9 out of 10 times you will not mate or get with somebody who is not sexually equally yoked with you, because you will find out as you begin to talk, you will find out either they talk a lot about sex or they don't talk about sex. People, you know, it's not something. Sex is the one thing we don't hide.
Well, we've been taught to not talk about sex for so long.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
But I talk.
Right.
People may not verbalize that.
Right, but what I'm saying is, so imagine this. So imagine this. Day one, example, Tashiba. Day one, Mike and Tashiba on a date. No disrespect. We on a date, and then she's like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Tashiba, and you know I'm from wherever she's from." And then we get to talking. I'm like, "Yeah, so you like being choked and handcuffed and want things around your neck?"
That's a red flag.
Like, at least. You gotta wait a little while.
But we gotta I still want to talk about the people who are, I mean, if we're helping give people solutions to what's going on, there's people out there they're already in this. It's not that, and some of them are not gonna stop and try to ask why they're with that person. They already love that person.
Well, those type of people, they have a choice. In life, everything in life is a choice. If you're ready in that relationship, if sex is important to you, different times in life, sex is important. In my 20s, sex is very important. In my 50s, sex is not that important. It's still important. But you're right. So you have a choice. Do I want to continue down this path, or do I want to find somebody I'm more compatible with? We cannot give a solution to somebody who does not want to get out of a situation.
Right.
I have to do this on the right.
Self-accountability.
Exactly. I have to do this real talk with people, because I mean, we can give this information like that, but we have people who are going to, if they get a chance to see this, they're going to, they might already be in it, you know, and it might be like, oh, you know, and you gotta talk to them like that, and that realm of where they are, you know. That's what I was thinking.
Well, that's how I talk to people, because I remember I had one person, she came to me, I didn't come to her. She told me about her relationship, her so-called marriage. And then when I started questioning her, she got totally mad. And I'm like, why she get mad at me? She came to me. I didn't care. I could care less about
you started asking questions. You started asking questions. I'm gonna tell you right now. I went through this. When I was doing the whole resiliency thing, and they did a lot of the resiliency piece when people are trying to find answers. The first thing they told us to do was look within self. And the moment that I had to look within my own self and basically face my own demons, I got mad. I started talking shit to them people. Right?
Because you weren't ready.
No, right. No, right. No, but this is just me being honest, right? The moment that they told me to self-reflect, and I started self-reflecting, and in my own, you know, demon skeletons or whatever, and I had to like, because I the reason I was so involved in this thing is because of the relationship. The way I felt that the relationship I had with my son, and I felt like I had did something wrong or didn't do something right. So I was taking it serious. So when they told me to self-reflect and I started doing so, I felt vulnerable and I got uncomfortable. So I reacted in front of all them people. It was like we had like 50, 60 people in there. I reacted a certain way because of how I felt or didn't feel, right? However you want to label that. So the moment, and I'll cut that short, but the moment you start asking people to self-reflect, and when they start looking at themselves and identifying the faults within themselves that they're not willing to admit, Bola, that's probably why the person who you talk to.
Even though she got mad at me, I could care less. Like I told her friend, I could care less what she did. She brought it to me. I made her self-reflect. She has a choice. Either she will continue, or
true that, Rick.
It's not part of my. You see, a lot of times we take on other people's baggages.
Yeah,
it's not my baggage to take on. You do what you want to. If that cause you not to
be giving it
talk
to
me, that's fine.
Right.
Because if you notice, a lot of your friends always want to get on the phone and complain.
Yeah.
But they don't want to change.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want that baggage.
Right.
Find somebody else who wants that baggage.
I'm telling you, I give you 5 times. After the 5 times, I'm gonna be like, listen, do you want the truth or you just want somebody to listen to you cry? Because I cannot do both.
Right. Rick says people could tell.
I think that when you have a person that's in a situation where they love a person,
right,
and they are not being fulfilled in the sexual area, you know, in the bedroom, then the key is to communicate with that person. And maybe if you're not able to effectively communicate to each other, and if this is the person that you want to be with, then get help so that you all can maybe counseling, sex therapists, you could go a holistic route, tantric, whatever. But the key is communication if you're already in it and you love that person, because, you know, you could go try to find someone that's going to sexually fulfill you, but the person that sexually fulfills you, will they do all the things that the other person did?
Oh, because
so
it's
it's
only
a
going to be that one
catch-22.
piece.
So it's like, well, what do you want? You know, it's really about what you want, and it's really about communication. And if you're already in it and you want to stay with that person, and that person is willing to try to meet you somewhere where you are,
right,
then communication.
Okay, well,
I've seen that.
I have one. What if that person becomes ill or sickly? He or she, he will stand up, and or she will still drip. You know what I'm saying? So at that point,
Rick.
Michael.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick. I'm sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
Saying that, hence, to death do you part through sickness and health.
Exactly.
You have a hand, and it still stands.
I know those words.
You dig?
But how many people take till death do us part? Seriously, if they did,
not
we
many.
have a divorce.
I did.
Right. So hold on.
Not many.
Hold on. Now,
I'm not even saying marriage. I'm just saying a partner that you love that you don't want to let go of.
Exactly.
You want to continue to be in it. Then communication is key. And if the other person is willing to be in it and you don't know how to communicate, then you seek some help. That's what.
Yeah.
Who do you seek help from?
Emotional. It depends.
Help from a therapist
too.
A therapist.
A marriage therapist.
Right.
I mean, it depends on the emotional.
You're talking about sex. I was saying sex therapist.
Like
a sex therapist.
A sex therapist, yeah, handles with that. But
well, I mean, I can agree too.
Tashiba, as you would
marriage,
say,
sex,
love
sex
first starts with self. You cannot love somebody else if you don't love yourself first.
Exactly.
Now, on that. If that person you're with is not willing to go to counseling or get help, then you have to think about love for yourself.
Correct.
Am I willing to go through life and not because I love? Love is when you love somebody, it's a choice.
Right.
I'm gonna say this.
I thought we was beyond that point. I thought we were beyond love.
I'm gonna tell you right now. After 40 years on this earth, I decided to go see a therapist, and they gave me somebody. I'm 40 years old. They gave me somebody who was 22, 23 years old. What the fuck they finna tell me?
That's no life. I have to say that is my attitude. Because you don't know what's in that person. Some people may have a whole soul.
Hold on.
Prejudge that person.
Okay.
You prejudge that person.
As I'm explaining, watch this.
Okay, hold on. Let me introduce Gary into the group. Gary, can you see us and hear us now?
Hey, who's this stranger joining in the middle?
Okay, stranger danger is.
That's exactly what I thought.
Come on, Gary.
That's
only two of us tonight. We need you. Come on in here.
We got to see if he can hear us. Gary, can you hear us and see us?
Gary,
can you hear us?
where's your face?
I see Gary, but I need to hear Gary. I need Gary to come on in here.
I don't see Gary. I see Gary.
Okay.
I don't hear Gary.
Yeah, he's connected. He connected audio.
Still connected.
We'll
give him a few minutes. And
Gary, you live at 5? Gary, you in here?
I think he's still trying to get there.
His voice may not.
All right. Hello.
Okay, gotcha. Well, let me introduce Gary, and Gary is Samantha's friend. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, I'm finna start calling Gary Barry. He sound like a little old skinny version of Barry White. What's going on, Gary?
Just cut it out, man. It's late night turn blues. You know how it goes.
Hey, look here, Pimp. We welcome you because me and Rick been holding it down. So we welcome another male presence in here. So appreciate
him talk like he been defeated.
Okay. My man, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? Everything good?
Yeah, we good. They were just about to get riled up just now. So what was that all about that was about to happen? Michael, you were about to go in, so go.
So hell, I was trying to get Gary and I damn near forgot what the hell I was talking about.
You were talking about 25 years.
Bola said, don't worry, I got you.
Yes. So here we go.
I said you prejudged her.
No, I did not prejudge her because I gave her every No. I gave her every opportunity to help me. So when I went in for, and I'm just me, there ain't no more HIPAA.
This is the young therapist. The young therapist. Right. Okay.
So I went in. I told her. I said, "Ma'am, I don't know why I'm here." I said, "But I'm gonna tell you my problems and what I feel like I'm going through." And so when I told her my stuff, as I started talking and telling her about my life, she was like this here. Right, she was like a 5-year-old kid in kindergarten waiting for story time. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like I can't believe you've been through so much," and like she was flabbergasted and what you want to call intrigued. So as I talked,
intrigued even.
Right, and so as I would talk, she was just listening and just going like this here, and I'm like, well, and for about 4 months, every time I went in, we kept revisiting the same thing because she only wanted to hear that. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm trying to see if something's wrong with me because these are the issues that I'm having. And I feel like something's wrong with me. And I need you because certain people labeled you as a professional. Certain people labeled you as a professional. And I'm here for that. Number one, depending on what career field you're in, when you decide to actually go to MH or mental health, right? Depending on who you are, especially man box type stuff, you don't go seek, you handle your problem as a man. So when you decide to go, you're looking for that person to provide you some answers, and you're not getting it. Right. So number one, the type of person I am, thinking I'm already a ghetto hood psychologist, to go talk to a psychologist and they not helping me. I'm having issues right there. Bam. And then when I realized,
did you switch?
And then when I realized that they're like, you 23 and I'm 40, man, this is a mismatch right here, right? So you're not even able to provide me anything because the moment I start talking about A, B, C, D, and E, you over there like, I wish I had a man to do me like that.
It's all on their own understanding.
So you're not trying to talk about the latest dance craze on TikTok. You want to talk about what's going on. I can get that.
In real life.
And I'll stop right there because I can keep going, but I mean, I think y'all get the gist of what I'm saying.
She, as a therapist, was inexperienced in all ways.
Right.
Okay. So you should have moved on to somebody that you felt comfortable.
Say that.
Just because the person, just like any profession out there, just because they have a title doesn't mean they actually know what they're doing.
Right. Well, and I will say this. Let me put this disclaimer out. Education goes both ways. It comes from an experienced person down and an inexperienced person up. So I don't want people to think that I'm not willing to take advice from somebody that's younger than me.
That's younger.
Because my son has taught me plenty of lessons.
Say that. Say that.
Right? Well, I want to ask Gary, I know you just joined the discussion late with us, and we've been talking tonight about if people are sexually yoked in relationships, because you might have one person that's real experienced. It could be because of some things that happen in their, growing up, childhood, or what have you. And then you might have a person who's very, very reserved and just never been there. So we're talking about how that happens and how that works in relationships, and those relationships work or not. But we talked about it on top of some other freaky stuff that went out there. So we want to bring you in. I just want to bring you into the whole thing and see just kind of how you feel. You can just jump in there anytime, how you feel about that, relationships that may not be completely sexually yoked. Do you have any views right offhand about that?
Well, when it comes down to, I guess, sexuality and special relationships, there are multiple different styles of relationships. I mean, you have some that are basically physical, where, you can get into these screaming, yelling matches, and right after y'all fought and broke up stuff, you're ready to have sex. So you have those type of beings out there that are physical beings. They thrive off of the emotions. Those are some of the things that really gets them going, that pumps the blood.
Right.
And you have other people who are kind of more like mental beings, where they thrive off of their brain being enhanced. Like some women, some men, they thrive off of reading books, thrive off of movies.
Sapiosexual.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, and then when you see that passion, that's what brings that drive off. It's kind of like a song that comes to mind with that D'Angelo. This is the time when I feel like making love. You see what I'm saying? See, there are times when
Gary. Go ahead, Gary. Preaching to y'all. Y'all don't understand.
I'm telling you, brother. You know what I'm saying? There are times, man.
Say that.
When you feel like making love, and then there's other times when you feel like having sex. But then it also depends on the interaction that you are conducting with your partner. So it really sometimes it stems physical, and then sometimes it stems from a mental connection. But regardless, man, if y'all still do love each other, you still can have sex. But sometimes it's not as passionate as we would like.
Gotcha. And you shouldn't
got a question.
D'Angelo.
What is love?
What is love got to do with
it? Everybody has their own definition.
Right.
Of love.
We did that on the very first show. What is love? And I got some really long explanations. I don't remember, but I do understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. But I told Gary, I'm stuck on him mentioning D'Angelo, because my mind went to that video where he ain't got no clothes. And he's
Lord. Here we go. Hey, but whatever floats your boat, sister. Ain't no
and I thought we was talking about love in the sexual aspect, not so much in the mental. You know what I'm saying? When we getting deep with it, like Lord is love. That's deep.
But I look at it this way, and I've been very reserved with my comments on everything. Is it because my friend watches? I don't know, but I just was really wanted to see how y'all feel about that, because really, because I had the conversation with my friend earlier, and he says, depending on the individual and how each individual feels, it could be total opposites. It can be polar opposites and work if the communication is there, and if the understanding is there, and if the willingness to come together is there. And I got that. And that's kind of how I feel about it. If you have two parties that are willing to make something work, it's going to work, but if it's a person who still has a lot of things in the childhood, therapy, I think therapy is in order. Some things working out that past are in order, because you can't have other triggers that bring stuff into the relationship if you don't solve some of those things from the beginning. Do you all agree?
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If somebody got something to say, go ahead, because I've talked too much.
Well, this was your subject. This was your subject, Michael.
Well, so like, say that one more time. What you said?
Michael, what you drinking tonight?
No, he must be married. Out to the couch.
No, say that one more time, because I want to make sure that I'm addressing the right content. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was thinking that, if we look at this subject matter and what you had going on, from the very beginning about the two people being unequally yoked. And I was just saying that it can work. It actually can work if the two people that come together have that understanding to, you know, that there is a difference and that they can work together, that one doesn't have to be just like the other or vice versa. And that, you know, if there's some problems that have stemmed from childhood or other things that have caused this extreme or lack of to happen, that those problems still need to be addressed, because if not, they're going to find a way to manifest somewhere in the relationship.
They will, and I believe what you were saying was, Tashiba, was you about to say something? Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna pass the mic because like I said, I talk too much. But Tanya, what I think you were saying was that, like those things manifest within people. So if they don't deal with their own, if they don't deal with their own internal self, right, that luggage, right. So I live my life trying to please other people, trying to make other people happy. Right. And that's just the cancer in me, the open heart, like, you know, give people the shirt off my back when I ain't got nothing, right? So by doing so, like, if you don't deal with yourself first, and this is what I have learned, and I will admit this, I have just learned this within the last 3 to 4 years, that I can't make another motherfucker happy. Sorry, I can't make another person happy. I can't. Happiness comes from within, right? So I think somebody said it earlier. I think it was Gary said. Somebody said it earlier. Well, you have to love yourself first, right? Yeah. But no, Bola. A lot of people said it tonight. To be honest with you, you gotta love yourself first. You know what I'm saying? So happiness comes from within. I can live my life trying to serve somebody, make them happy. But if they not happy with themselves or they don't love themselves, ain't shit I can do for them. Nothing. Not a thing. Right? Nada. Right? So
what's sad is they be so upset with themselves. They allow their insecurities to eat them up so much. They start taking it out on you and making you feel like you're the issue. And
that's where I call mini narcissism begins, because if I'm not willing to take if I'm not willing to take accountability for myself, then I start taking my issues and making it somebody else's, right? And then now that person starts to get mistreated, or, you know, and then the gaslighting comes into play, right?
But what do you mean gaslighting?
Does anybody else want to take it?
Gaslighting is like,
go ahead.
It's manipulation. So one form of gaslighting is maybe you get into an argument with a person and you're not satisfied with the result of it. So you ignore that person. You give them the silent treatment until they give you what they want. That's one form of gaslighting.
I got one. My ex would often offer to pay for things, and I'd be like, no, don't worry about it, I got it. And then I would come back and be like, hey, I'm a little tight this month. I over budgeted a little bit. Could you help pay such and so bill? Oh, well, you should have asked me for it when I offered it to you. That's another form of gaslighting. Like, how can I not come to ask you for things? I'm supposed to take things from you when you give them to me. Like I cannot approach you to ask for things. I have to take them as soon as they're given.
Now, go ahead. Somebody about to say something. Go ahead.
Now with the efforts given, taking just anything, just for somebody to say, well, I gave you something, you should be grateful. But if you just give me anything, I should be grateful just because you gave me anything. I could have just gave you nothing. Now, because I just had a conversation about that recently. But somebody just to give you anything, and you've given so much in terms of efforts, but for someone to give you anything, even next to minimum, and for them to tell you, you should be grateful because at least I've given you something. And it could be something like next to nothing. Let me ask y'all that. In general.
I mean, why am I giving?
You said what?
I say, why would I be giving? You know what I mean? When you say that someone is giving you something and giving you something for next to nothing, what is the purpose of me giving it to you? I mean, what is my intent?
You just break that glass, Rick.
I mean, you did what I'm saying? Because if my intent is purely out of love, no matter what I'm giving it, it should be received.
Right. No, I didn't break a glass. I broke comprehension.
Okay. Well, Shannon, go to hit that chat.
Hold on. Can I? I'm sorry.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, not me. I got a lot to say, but I wanted to make sure I heard Gary right, because he was saying something, and I want to digest what he was saying. Can you say that one more time, brother?
Okay, when he was because I was kind of trying to formulate exactly when he was saying about the giving, about somebody giving you something, and even if it's less than nothing, if it could be just pennies. So I guess from my understanding, I guess I'm trying to get an understanding of why would they be giving you something, and and what the intent of them giving it to you would be. Like we could say like she was asking for help on her rent. All right. Now, if a friend was just giving it out of purely love, no matter what he gave him, it should just be received gratefully, even if it wasn't enough. Even if she was like, "Hey, I need $100," he said, "Okay, I got 25, man." It should be received like, "Man, thank you for that 25. I still got to hustle up 75 more."
Right.
But if I come with the 25 and you like, that ain't shit. You know what I mean?
Punk ass 25 out of that.
Man's coming on like. You get what I mean? So
right.
I guess that's whether we're trying to get together in the understanding of how the giving is coming up and how it's being received or how it's being given.
As Bola would say, what is she with you for?
No,
sorry, Bola.
Turn to the side of the seat before you say that.
Why is she with you?
Nah.
Right now she's doing a little extra draping arm.
Okay.
With an arm draped over, trying to change it up tonight.
Okay, Bola, like you ain't got a signature seat.
Yeah. But y'all, I never get to a point where we coming down to it, and I know that people out there who have been watching, I hope that you all have gotten an idea of what we were trying to say, when it comes to, are you and your mate sexually yoked? And I did change it a while ago so that when people came, they could see that what we were really talking about, because I had equally yoked. And isn't that something that I typed that, and in my head, I was saying it sexually, and it just came out as equally, and that's really crazy that I did that, but I hope that our audience has gotten an idea of where we're trying to go with that, and we turn the corner with some other places, and this is on the heels of some other, like I said, freaky type videos that we've had tonight. We hope that everybody have enjoyed our fetishes tonight, because I just like to do different stuff sometime. And Shannon is like the master of doing the mistress of doing that type of thing. I'm gonna call you the mistress of doing that type of thing. So I love it.
On it.
Yeah.
Shannon is the master debater.
No, the mistress.
The mistress debater. But thank you so much, Shannon, for that, because I really appreciate bringing different things to the show and giving people some thought, when it comes, they got to think about it. You walk away from the show, we want you to think about some things.
Before we wrap up, can I put in a point of view? I haven't really got to speak through most of this. I don't know why I said in the chat, I don't know why I get polite so near the end, but I just let me listen.
Right.
But speaking from a woman's point of view and being more sexually active, I guess, than my partners have been, than my partners have been, it's a little bit harder on the female's perspective of it, because then, like, I literally, I mentioned my most recent ex often, but I mean, that's the most recent one I can pull from for y'all. He would often tell me, like, a man doesn't want to know his woman's been out in the streets like that. When I would try and talk to him about some stuff that I've been through, or some stuff that I've done, or my sexual history, or like how I've explored myself or something like that. And then it turns into like this whole, like, oh, I've got to battle into how because like I said, I pulled out my leash earlier. Like, so I've got to like figure out how I can tiptoe into things that I like, because then I'm worried about, okay, well, if I bring this out, am I going to be prejudged as a hoe? And that goes back
to get intimidated.
Right. And that goes back onto being, you know, talking about what Bola did, like what Bola was talking about, like, I did put up with that because I cared about him and I loved him as a person. And I felt that he could be not sexually, but just as a person, I saw who he could be. And that's a problem with a lot of women. We see who they can
what a man.
Exactly.
What
they can be as opposed to what they actually are.
And you know, the funny thing, men never tell us that's what they want to be.
I'm telling you.
I have a question.
Okay.
Hold on. Pause. Before you have that question, how can I keep a woman's place, but I'm paying all the bills and I'm acting like a man?
Well,
no. Check it out. It's fine.
Okay, let's see what Gary got to say.
Okay.
Shannon.
All right. Okay. Now, would you like to know that
he's stuttering everything? He
absolutely. Yeah, hey, I want to get it in, brother. You know it.
That's a real question. Hold on. I'm listening.
Hey, now, would you like to know that your man had oral sex with every woman that he was with? Maybe had anal sex with every woman he was with. I'm talking about did freaky stuff with every woman he was with, tried and experimented different things with every woman he was with, to where by the time he got you, there was nothing new to bring to the table. No, I'm just asking.
Not the conversations that would happen though. The conversations that would happen would be me talking about the things that I'm into. And then he goes into the question of, well, how did you get into that? Well, don't open that Pandora's box if you're going to call me a hoe.
Well, I can get it if fetishes, that things that you're into. Like, you know, I may be into, watching videos.
When you've been around the block long enough, you know what to say, when to
what not to say.
Learning.
Yeah.
Because, girl, I agree with that.
Not everybody you can say everything to.
Now that's
this was in a 3-year relationship. It was a year.
It don't matter.
Relationship. But that's what I understand that now. Don't get me wrong. I understand that now, because then you've got to look at, okay, well, I was also the breadwinner. I was doing a lot of things that he just at that point in his life, and it's no fault on him. I swear for God, it's no fault on him. It's just a situation he would put into. He just couldn't step up the way that I needed him to step up. So I was stepping up in all these other places. So it creates more of an insecurity for me to also be more sexually experienced than him.
Okay, Shannon is the example.
The male role of the male.
Yeah, Shannon is the example of the unequally, and it looks like unsexually yoked that we've been talking about. It looks like we've been talking about your story.
That's why I said I don't appreciate you pulling from my diary, my memoirs. I don't like none of this shit. Everything y'all been talking about is about me, and I don't appreciate it.
But I'm telling you, that's why he's your ex.
Exactly. I mean, that's the point. But I'm saying, like, from a woman's point of view, you know, we've been hearing from the man's point of view for most of this time. From a woman's, you know, you expect a man to be more experienced. You expect a man to have like.
Shannon, you're gonna have to learn one thing. You have to learn one thing.
You expect a man to be more experienced.
Yeah.
Because that's just how
you shouldn't expect that.
To be. It's like you expect a man to have A, B, and C done by the time they get to you.
No, you're going to have to learn to do one thing. You're going to have to learn how to open your ears instead of your mouth. You're going to have to really, really learn that.
Be careful when you say that.
I mean, that's
you know what?
Shannon.
No, and that's another reason. Like, I went into therapy right after I got through with this relationship, because I was like, I recognize there's a pattern. Yeah. I recognize that I'm seeking men that I need to raise, and I don't need to raise. No offense, I don't need to raise nobody. That's not
You got a mama fetish.
Yeah.
Okay. We've already said that. I said already. Wounded bird syndrome. We were talking about that. Wounded bird syndrome, right? You go out there and you find a baby snake. You know what I'm saying? And then when it grow up and bite the shit out of you, you knew it was a snake. You knew it was a snake when you got it.
Say it.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't like that. Listen, Rick, one finger pointing at me is 10 fingers pointing back. Don't forget about that.
Right.
So what I would say, Shannon,
let's go,
is that maybe
I like how this turned into my therapy. Let's go.
What I would say is that sometimes we have to go within, even though you are going to a therapist. Maybe just go within. I do a lot of meditation. I wake up in the morning. My husband doesn't like it because he wants that to be his time, but it's my time. I go to the gym. I sit in the sauna for an hour, and that's the time that I spend with myself, and I go within. I do a lot of Mike called it resilient work, but I call it shadow work. So I go in and I work with me, issues that I have with me. I don't look for anyone to fulfill me. Rick and I have been married for 15 years. We've been together for 18 years. He was like wet behind the ears when I met him. So
we've been married for 17 years.
I said we were married for 15 years.
Yes,
In July, it'll be 15 years.
Yeah, look, she know, Pam. Don't get embarrassed on live now.
So, but we've been together for 18 years.
That's a good argument.
And so, when I met him, you know, we weren't in the same space. You know, we were very unequally yoked in a lot of areas. And that's why I say communication is the key with any relationship that you want to be in if you love a person. But it always starts with self first. You have to be fulfilled with self in every area of your life. And what will happen is when you are aligned and with self, all the things that you're seeking will come to you, and you won't have to go to find it.
And I'll tell you right now, if you would have talked to me 6 months ago, I would have been in a completely different situation. I would have been a completely different person. Like the person that you see in front of you right now, that like I'm night and day from what I was, baby. And I'm gonna tell you that 100%, because I'm gonna let you know I walked out of that relationship. And one of the reasons why I got into therapy, and you can't say this word on YouTube, but the S word, you know, like I was really close to it because of some other things that had built up, and there was a child that was lost at the end of it, you know, so like it was just a lot of things on me that I had to go through by myself because I wasn't being believed at the end of it. So there's been a lot of growth between point A and point B.
We see you working through it, Shannon. We do see you working through it.
Listen, I would not listen. If you would have met me 6 months ago, I would have told all y'all to F, and then I would have left, and I wouldn't have even been able to deal with this.
So I would be like, come here. I would have been like, shut up in your ass here.
So based off of Tashiba and Shannon, based off of what y'all was saying, and y'all saying that folk need to look within, and this is like kind of going back to what Tanya was saying earlier. We offering solutions to the folk. How do you tell somebody that has never looked within, never was taught to process or deal with emotion? How do you get folk, and Bola probably would chime in on this, but how do you get them people to even look or start with self first to be able to fix their own problem?
I was one of those people. I didn't think about looking within. I'm more myself than I ever have been since in the last couple of years than I ever have been since I moved to Texas. But I was heavily into religion and was always just taught, lean on God. That's your choice. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying, and even in certain aspects of the Bible, if you look at the New Testament, Jesus does teach about love. It starts with love and self. And so for a person who has never thought about it, doesn't know how to do it, you just give them small, little nuggets, little drops, until you just plant the seed, basically, until they ask questions, and you
I
pique
got a
their
suggestion on
curiosity.
that.
Mhm.
Well, Bola, you go first, and I got a suggestion.
What I suggest is everybody is an individual, unique. So everybody will heal differently.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
one does not fit all. If you are a coach, counselor, therapist, whatever, you have to look at the individual and see how do I help them. You are there to help the individual, not to push your system on them. Like for me, how God healed me was one day I walked out the shower, I was naked. He said, I need you to look in the mirror, because I hear God all the time. He said, look in the mirror and tell me about yourself. And he said, I don't want to hear I'm wonderfully, beautifully made. I don't want to hear anything about that. And he used the armor of God to begin to heal me. Another girl I was coaching, she's into New Age and different things. I didn't go with her on a Christian standpoint, but I still use the Holy Spirit to show me how do I help her heal.
Yeah.
She was able to heal. So it's never one size fits all.
One thing,
It
right?
has to be that's why you have to talk to someone you can trust, someone who can lead you to where you want to be. And Michael.
And I'll add one thing with that, what Tashiba was saying just now about meditation. I think that I really found my mark of the inner self. I've been in meditation, global guided meditation for about 3 years now. And you know what really got my attention, because you have to make a decision. This is all about a decision. Got to make a decision. So what helped me to make my decision is a lot of people out there who struggle and they have different things going on. And Shannon, I'm listening to you and just talking about people overall. There's something inside that's missing, and there's even a loneliness that's in there. And what I heard my mentor say when we were going through this meditation on those first days, that we all have God inside. We all are God's, and we all have them inside. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, it clicked. I'm not alone.
Right.
I'm not alone. Yeah, he's in there. He's with me. You know what I'm saying? He, she, Father, Mother, God's right here. Yeah. And so that helped me to walk from that point, because I was no longer alone. It was right there, right in front of me all of a sudden. No longer alone.
That's what he gave me as one of my testing group. It's called Single But Not Alone. Because I realized I'm not alone.
Exactly. And that helps me through everything.
It's inside of you.
Yes.
Everything you need is inside of you.
That's right.
Every time I feel like within the past 3 months, every time I feel like I'm gonna kind of self-implode or whatever, because I'm very manic. I'll let you know. I got a few things going up on here. You know.
Are you saying you 2 screws loose from cuckoo?
I'm missing.
Yeah, Gary looked like he's about to say something.
I know Gary.
There's a few more than a few.
We're gonna let Gary speak, but I got one thing to say to Shannon. Shannon, you wearing badges, and you proud of those badges, girl. Put them damn badges down. You don't need them. You don't need those either. You don't need them, girl. He's with you.
That's what I was saying. Especially in the past few months, when I get into those bits, I just stop and I'm like, I am love. I vibrate love. Love is attracted to me. And I tell you, when you re-switch those vibrations,
you have to pull out. With vibrations, a lot of times.
There's times when people say that, they don't say nobody else, but that's what they do.
But a lot of times, what we got to realize, water is a conduit.
Say again?
Water is a conduit.
And we are made of 20% of water. So our emotions trap our, are trapped by our, by water traps our emotions. Yeah. So you may say all these affirmations.
Bola getting scientific.
I even drink water all day.
Listen to her. Hush.
If you still have those negative emotions inside you, it's sitting at the bottom.
Yeah.
But the key is getting those negative emotions out. So all of you is filled. That's why you have your cycles of up and down, up and down. After a while, you spew out all the good emotions, and here come the negative emotions to surface. But the key is get the negative emotion out, and then fill everything up.
I may add one thing, and then I add Gary in.
Love it.
I don't remember the exact name of this. I heard it the other day. There is some type of a planetary type changes going on between now and June 7th. And what they told us the other day, they said try to
retrograde.
Oh, yeah, retrograde. It could be retrograde. Yeah, and to keep everything positive out of your mouth. Get everything positive. Get out of that 3D dimensional darkness.
Yeah.
We're going to 5D now. So we got to get more positive in what we think and what we say. And sometimes you do it just so easily. It comes right out of your mouth. And I've been stopping myself like, stop.
Yeah.
Roll back.
I can tell you a lot. Like, I'm more aware of, like, if I'm in traffic, I'll be like, oh, I hate and I'll be, no, we can't say that. We can't say that. We don't.
Right.
We don't.
So you're catching yourself.
Universe listens.
Exactly.
Gary, what you got on it, Gary?
Yes, go ahead, Gary.
Oh, sure. Hey, man, it's so much been said. You know what I mean? But honestly, that's really one of the biggest things is honesty. You have to be honest with yourself. I know a lot of times we try to trick ourselves into just saying a lot of just all good things, but life is just not all the time good. Life is sometimes bad. And when we fail to actually acknowledge those bad things in life and trick ourselves to just believe everything is good, then sometimes we kind of pushing down issues that need to be brought to the surface so that we can really bring them out and heal them.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where we really have to be super honest with ourselves, look in the mirror, take accountability for it, and then not be afraid to ask for help. You know,
and I think that's the biggest thing that we all fight with is accountability. Like I'll let you know, like from a personal standpoint, I'll admit I'll say I'm sorry, but it takes me a couple days to really sit with myself and be like, you know what? No, that was my fuck up. I mean, that was my bad. I'm so sorry.
It takes you days. Wait, Shannon, stop. It takes you days.
It doesn't take me like days, but I'll sit down.
Why does it take you like minutes or hours?
Yeah, minutes.
It depends on the situation on what it is. But it'll take me a minute to be like, you know what? That really was my fault. And then there will be times I'll reach back out and I'll be like, hey, listen, I don't think this apology was good enough. I want to let you know I've had a couple of days to reflect on it.
Yeah.
And I was really like,
you gotta tune in.
Out of place.
Tune in to self. You got to bring it in.
Exactly. Sometimes you need that time to like tune into self, to check into self.
Got to niche down.
No, listen, this was really me.
Yeah. Down.
A lot of times we think that all the
bow down. I was wrong.
All the bad things that have happened to us, all the bad experiences are there to teach us. But we think of all the bad experiences that happened to us, and then we let pride get in the way. We let self justification get in the way. We let self-pity get in the way. We let all these other emotions get in the way, so we cannot see, like Gary said, the truth about the situation, about who we are, and about who the person is. And then we have chaos.
So I will say this, and I'm done because I'm gonna get on my drink. I am right. My glass is empty, but I got a bottle. But I don't know how with labels. My bottle got a label on it, so I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
Right, sure that drink my water. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So what I will say is this: I would tell anybody that's feeling any type of negativity, like I said, as I teach resiliency and everything, to look up the broaden and build theory. I'll say that again. Look up the broaden and build theory. And basically what that is that's to tell you that a constant flow of positive emotion, positive energy weeds out negative emotions and negative energy, right? I have a bunch of examples, but that's not for tonight. That's for something else we could do. But broaden and build theory, if you look that up or Google that, and that's for people that's on here tonight, and then the folks that's out there on live, broaden and build theory, look that up, positive emotions versus negative emotions, and see if that adds to something that could potentially help you. Self-accountability, start from within, broaden and build theory, turn them loose, and that's all I got. Y'all do y'all thing.
Raise your vibrations, folks. That's what I got for you. Got to raise those vibrations this time. But you know what? I want, to go ahead and get things wrapped up here. I hope that everyone has enjoyed all of our discussions tonight. And as we always do before we get out, we always check in with everyone to see what you got going on right now, how you're hanging in the public, and what social media things that you want to put out there for the world so that they can get in touch with you. Okay, I'm going to start this time. I'll start over there with Bola. What you got going on, Bola?
What do I have going on?
Yes, man. Where you at, Bola? You see that on?
I was on my phone. Just do my coaching, and I'm a life coach. And what I do is I assist mainly women, but I do take men, and I help them amass their identity. And what have I got going to mass? Amass their identity, transform their relationship. And I'm not just talking about man and woman intimate relationship, and align their mindset. Okay. It's about going from piece to piece, from pieces to piece.
And how can people get in touch with you, Bola?
My phone number is 682-302-0038. And you can find me on spiritualrecoverycoach.com, and it'll show you my Facebook and my YouTube channels that
it'll be in the description as well. Everything's in the description. Samantha, what you got going on? Samantha.
Well. So this is what I'm doing all week, every week. I'm keeping it honest with the public.
Okay.
Say that.
Right,
so if anybody, listen, hold on. If anybody have any questions, I'm keeping it honest. Okay. So that's what I plan to do.
All right. Can they reach you out there on IG or somewhere?
Well, wait, hold on now. Look. I don't go public and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Leave a comment.
You ask me questions. Inbox me.
Okay. All right. Let me roll back.
Say that.
All right. What's happening, Mr. Turn 'em Loose? What you got going on right now?
Woo! You caught me with Miss Wig.
What?
So I was drinking when she decided to say turn 'em loose. But it's all good. Hey, it's your boy Michael Lee, aka Mr. Turn 'em Loose. Hey, holla at me. Look here. So Turn 'em Loose is built around unlocking that potential, right? Trying to establish that growth mindset. What we serve as to motivation, inspiration, and education, right? There's a multitude of things that we do, but a lot of it is about positive vibes, positive energy, and just moving forward. And, you know what I'm saying? Establishing that growth mindset, self-accountability with some things that we're looking at. So if you're trying to holler at me, hey, what is it? @ Mr. Turn 'em Loose at IG, and then you can look up, a hashtag Turn 'em Loose on Facebook, and you should probably see us out there on it. But like I said, just a motivational speaker and all that good stuff, and holla at your boy, man. Like it's out there. Get at me.
Turn 'em loose.
All right, Tashiba, what you got going on?
So what I got going on, nothing much. But you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Sheba Sweets. I make bath soaps. I make body butters and salts, candles, metaphysical stuff. You looking for some little witchy things, I got that going on too. My website is sheba.beauty, and check me out.
Cool. Thank you for being here too.
Okay.
Okay, Gary, thanks for joining us. And what you got going on?
Oh, well, I'm kind of like Mr. Turn 'em Loose. I have a podcast that's actually launching off next week. It's going to be called The Daily Deposit. What we're doing is actually just teaching individuals the things that they need to be depositing daily and to try to get a return on their investment. whether or not it's relationship, whether or not it's family, whether or not it's finances. It's just literally just every day making a conscious daily deposit in your energy and time into these departments to where you can get a return on your investment. So you can check us out at the daily deposit at gmail.com. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. Like I say, and hopefully by next week we'll be launching videos, launching talk, having real men talk, and maybe even have Mr. Turn 'em Loose and y'all on our show.
Say that.
We'll collab. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You saw me doing it. Hey, look.
No, absolutely.
I got my notepad going
Say it
on
again,
right
Gary
now,
Collier.
Hey, man. The goal is for not only Black excellence, but for excellence all around. So if we start within our own community to get us more financially stable, have conversations about finances at the table, since
yes, sir.
Time.
Hey, you in the great state? Where you at? You in the great state?
Yeah, I'm in Texas where we trying to do it big, brother.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna link up with you.
If it ain't big, it ain't in
Gary,
Texas.
what part?
I'm saying.
Gary, what part of Texas are you?
But I'm sorry, say it again.
What part of Texas?
Well, I'm in Dallas, Texas. You know
hey,
what?
Al Richardson, baby.
See, that's our goal. See, our goal is to be one of the first financial investment companies out here in Dallas, Texas. Because, you know, they're doing it out there in Chicago. They're doing it in New York. You know, they got all these programs, but right here in Dallas, they don't have it going. So it's definitely time for brothers to get together, link, collaborate, and to really show them how we really do it.
And we're gonna show them how we do it, because I'm from H-Town, baby. But
let's definitely do it, man. I went to PV, so you know what time it is.
Yeah, we okay.
All right, then.
I got a place I need to hook you up with. It's called Media Sensei. They do some stuff like that in the community.
Right.
It's through my homeboy Desmond Witherspoon. I think y'all should link up.
Yeah, please shoot that my way too, ma'am, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, let's see.
Ain't nothing like collaborate.
All right, thank you so much for being here, Gary. I really appreciate you being a part of the forum tonight. Thank you so much. Let's find out what's going on with these Rickisms. There's been Rickisms all night long.
Rickisms, Rickalicious.
The Rickalicious.
I don't know.
Hey, y'all see my boy Rick?
I said, can we call him Rickalicious?
Why are you asking me now? You've been calling him Rickalicious.
Okay, all right.
If y'all can hear me,
and now.
Not that it's needed, but nonetheless, Rick Adams West on Instagram, Rick_Adams with an S_West, Saachi Art. You'll find it where it is. If you're interested, you'll find me. You'll seek me if you want. Art is where I'm at. Art is who I am, and there's no denying on it. So, seek and enjoy, but do not destroy.
That sounds.
All right, there's the Rickisms.
All right.
All right, and Miss Shannon Element Rose, what's going on with you right now?
So I'm Element Rose on all social media, Element Rose 13 on most of it. If you want a little surprise, you can follow Masked Element, but I'm not talking about that publicly.
Really?
I do everything from logos to video edits. I also do personal paintings. In fact, I'm probably about 3 to 4 paintings deep right now, just commission wise. So I got $50 deposit to hold your spot. Send you my Cash App, just message me. Like I said, it's Element Rose 13 on most social media. So just go ahead and hit me up.
All right, and before I say anything about myself, we had a lot going on in the chat. I see that Tiana was really strong in there still tonight, and I see Mr. Turn 'em Loose jumped in there too. Veronica can be here tonight, and so she's we had another Deaf in the Family, so she set this one out tonight. So hello to Veronica. She's waving at us right now, and let's see who else was in there earlier in the chat. What's the young lady's name? Bridget. I just saw different people who are participating. We really, really appreciate you participating with us. And I myself was Tanya Dixon, the Tandy Girl. Everything Tandy, Tandy Productions, Tandyland Ventures, Tandemonium Films, Tandy Ladies Holding, Tandy Everything is us. And you can reach us at tandyland.com, TANDILAND.com. And you can also check us out on social media, what am I? I mean, so you just go to mytandyland.com and you can catch it over there. I do remember my IG is the Real Tandy Girl, but we do have a Art Imitates Life radio show, and I've got to switch all that over to podcast. So if you find it out there as radio show, that's us. But we're going to switch it all, Shannon. That's what we're going to get on to and do is get all that together coming soon. So check us out. I thank you all for taking the time to be with us here tonight, discuss all the topics and everything that we have done. And as usual, we have enjoyed ourselves. We ran long tonight because the discussion got good, and I ain't mad about that. So I got some games that I want to play with you all in the upcoming week. So stay tuned for that. You never know who's going to be knocking on our door here at the living room. I'm going to make it that way for y'all, that you're not going to know who's coming in here. You're not going to know what's going on. And I got to catch y'all off guard because y'all are getting too swift and too much for me right this moment. And I ain't mad about it. So I thank y'all for being here as the Tandyland team. Give yourselves a hand tonight. Y'all tired now. You're like,
hey.
Oh, we good. We let you do your closing remarks is what we do.
It's another 2 hours. Oh my God.
I know. I'm getting out of here, but I thank you all out there for tuning in and watching us. We've enjoyed you being here and watching us too. So as we always say, thank you for watching. Have a beautiful week. I'm Tanya Dixon and the Tandyland team. We'll see you next time on Art Imitates Live.